This sudden bad blood between Kyle Larson and David Gravel is adding just a little bit of unexpected spice to the biggest part of the sprint car season, and this story isn't going to go away. We'll talk about it, plus Danny Dietrich mad, the PDC is here, and a lot more. Let's go. It's Thursday, July 24th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Today's daily show is being supported by our friends at American Table and the P.O. Box, two unique dining experiences not far from Knoxville Raceway. This Saturday night, July 26th, kicks off a very busy two-week stretch at Knoxville with a weekly show that will draw a lot of teams. That will then be followed by the 360 Nationals that start next Thursday. We'll then get the Capitani Classic and Knoxville Nationals the following week. When you're in the area for the races, check out American Table and the P.O. Box. They proudly support the racing community, and their historic location in Oskaloosa, Iowa offers two dining options under one roof. Inside the beautifully restored post office that was built in 1902, you'll find an elevated experience upstairs with American Table, and downstairs you've got the P.O. Box serving up crave-worthy comfort food, cold drinks, and a cozy vibe. Whether you're refueling after the races or grabbing a bite before heading to the track, they've got a spot for you. Find them at 206 North Market Street in Oskaloosa, Iowa, and visit them online at AmericanTableRestaurant.com. After last night's Word of Outlaw Sprint Car show at BAPS Motor Speedway, David Gravel got interviewed by Sprint Car Unlimited's Jeremy Elliott, and Gravel used it as an opportunity to continue the conversation about the run-in last week at Eldora with Kyle Larson. You can see his full comments for yourself over on Jeremy's YouTube channel. The situation seems like it's been building a little bit for a while with the previous Cody Jacobs comments towards Brad Sweet and High Limit. We then had Gravel DQ'd at Eldora for that nosewing infraction. Then Gravel and Larson going at it on Friday at the night before, trading sliders and the two coming together on that cool-down lap. Larson ended up spun off the front of Gravel's car, and the two parked next to each other having words. That conversation then continued in the World of Outlaws Command Center trailer, and barbs were traded on social media. Barring a surprise Larson appearance somewhere, we likely won't see these two on track together again until the Knoxville Nationals, but this bad blood between them is something that will definitely be an undercurrent of that event. Larson has won 3 of the last 4 Nationals titles, and Gravel is looking for his first since 2019. Gravel finished second 2 years in a row for 2022 and 2023, one of those behind Larson. But he had issues last year and was left battling all week to get back into the mix. Through the grapevine over the years, I've heard that a big reason why Todd Quering hired David Gravel is he wanted to win a Knoxville Nationals. And every year that doesn't happen, there is likely just a little bit more pressure kind of added in here to deliver that victory. Both Larson and Gravel seem to elicit strong reactions from some fans, with both at times taking heat. And I think it's interesting that we've gotten to this point with these two drivers. Gravel admitted they were friends and talked about going to each other's weddings. And I don't know that I would have guessed that our biggest rivalry and bad blood situation between two drivers in 2025 was going to come from this pair. If it was going to happen between a couple of drivers, though, this might be our best case scenario as sprint car fans. Nobody has won more 410 sprint car races over the last 2 years than David Gravel, and nobody has a better win percentage over that span than Kyle Larson. For modern sprint car racing, this is about as big a clash of the Titans vibes as we are going to get. And heading into the biggest event of the season, no less. The Gravel detractors like to point towards Larson always beating him in races head-to-head, and looking into some stats, they do favor Larson, but maybe by not as much as you'd think. Looking at just World of Outlaws events going back to 2017, I show them racing together in features 109 times. Larson has finished ahead of Gravel 66 times, and Gravel has finished ahead of Larson 43 times. The numbers are more skewed for 2025, with Larson beating Gravel 10 of 12 times in Outlaw shows this year. In high limit competition, though, the two drivers have faced off 5 total times going back to 2023, with Gravel having the edge there at 3-2. For some comparison, Larson is 77-35 against Brad Sweet in that same span with the Outlaws, and Larson is 64-48 against Donnie Schatz. I don't think either side needs any more motivation to go out and win, but I'm here for this storyline. And there are so many just like little subplots with kind of within just this one rivalry. Besides Gravel versus Larson, it's High Limit versus Outlaws. And with the family connections, there's a little bit of Sweet versus Gravel sprinkled in here as well. You've also got racing for wins and cash versus a championship and a full-time contender. There's just so many ways to go here. But Gravel and Larson at odds, Jacobs and Silva jawing at each other, and we're going to be here with a tub full of popcorn ready to watch all of it. At BAPS last night, Gravel led the first 6 laps from the pole, but the surging Anthony Macri was just too much. Gravel tried to keep him honest through traffic, but it was all Macri to the end. 2 outlaw wins in a row now for Macri, including that Kings Royal, and he and Joe Mooney rolling heading into this weekend at Williams Grove. Bill Balog also on the night's podium. Posse and Posse adjacent drivers taking up 4 spots in the top 10. I'm calling Brett Marks Posse adjacent here. We did have some drama last night after Danny Dietrich went for a big ride on the front stretch. After the crash, he had some choice words for the restart situation in an interview with Dirt Vision's Connor Wade. He then got into a confrontation with Shark Racing crew guys as he was upset with Logan Schuchart. There's been a smattering of comments lately about how restarts are going in some of these sprint car shows, with the focus more towards the middle and back of the field. We've seen guys penalized for jumping starts and restarts, but it's almost always at the front of the field. We rarely see cars get dinged for jumping when they start further back, and apparently that's where things are getting crazy. Dietrich was upset about that, and then he got set off by the crash. It's maybe an area where track and series officials can put a heavier focus here going forward. Outlaw teams are off today, and racing at the Grove starts on Friday. The Prairie Dirt Classic week is off and running. Last night, it was Bobby Pierce striking first at Fairbury. He battled out front with Ryan Unzicker and Ricky Thornton Jr. before pulling away late to earn FloRacing Night in America win number 3 on the season. RTJ and Jonathan Davenport on the podium as well. Pierce also extending his grip on the Flo Series Championship with 4 races still to go. It was definitely usual suspects up front by the end, but we did see Unzicker run well, Jason Fager and Shannon Babb were in the top 10, so some of those Illinois guys here in the mix. I was a bit surprised Brandon Shepard didn't run better. He was down in 11th. Fairbury is quiet today with things starting back up on Friday for PDC prelim action. Saturday night is $50,000 to win, and I'm sure the elbows will be out. Other late model action coming up this weekend includes 3 more Southern Nationals races. There's also the Southern Thunder Series in Alabama, weekly racing at a bunch of tracks, and $10,000 to win at East Alabama. Besides the Outlaws at Williams Grove and Weed Sport, your open wheel options for the next few days are plentiful. That includes the start of Indiana Sprint Week for the USAC National Sprint Cars. On the line is that rocking chair and $25,000 to the champion, Logan Seavey, the defending Sprint Week champion. Tonight, the Sprint Cars hit the tight confines of the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The invitational event gets things going for Sprint Week, but it does not pay Sprint Week points. So it's kicking off, it's part of Sprint Week, but is not part of the championship. The championship points then start Friday at Lincoln Park, and then the rest of the slate includes Kokomo, Lawrenceburg, Circle City, Terre Haute, Bloomington, and Hopstadt. As a quick reset, Kyle Cummins has been melting faces this year in the sprint car. He leads this season-long title chase by 87 points over Justin Grant. Grant and Cummins each with 6 victories. Elsewhere this weekend, there's also IRA, AFCS, FAST, NOSA, NARC, PowerEye. I know that's a lot of acronyms, but all of those racing series will be in action. And I think Knoxville could draw a big field on Saturday. This will be the final chance to tune up before the 360 and 410 Nationals. Brent Marks was the only high-limit driver to race with the Outlaws last night, and I bet some of those teams will go to Knoxville Saturday instead of sticking around PA just to really kind of tighten up that notebook one more time. To keep up with your streaming options all weekend, stop by DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. That will be updated every single day if you are curious what you can get into. We're going to call it good right there for the week. Hope you guys have a great Thursday and a great weekend out there. We'll see you right back here on Sunday.